Hey guys, it's Kelly with the Garden Whisperer. If you're unfamiliar with what I do, I design flower beds and garden beds for homeowners where they can either install it themselves or they can hire a landscaper if they're choosing to install it for them according to the design plans. So I have been working on this conifer garden bed design, and this is actually the back corner of my property. I wanted to do something that would provide some privacy and screening from the road and the house below, because I'm up higher than the road and the houses below or behind me that are closer to the lake. So I wanted to do something that would create some privacy, but I didn't want to do the usual, a lot of people do this, and I'm not insulting if you like this or you've done it. I personally do not like it. I think it's ugly. But where they just take a bunch of these tall green evergreens like arborvitaes or whatever, and they just literally do like a whole line of them of the same type of tree. I think that it just lacks character, it lacks interest, texture. It's boring, to be quite honest. So I like a privacy screen that has more interest and uniqueness to it. So, and different types of different types of trees. I don't like, like just a wall of the same type of tree. Plus, that also prevents disease. Because a lot of times, if you plant the same type of tree next to each other, I can't speak today. Oh my God, next to each other in a long line, if one gets a disease that is particular to that tree, then all of them will get it, and then you'll end up like losing a ton of trees. So this way you kind of can prevent that. So I wanted to do different types of conifers, which I have here. Then I have a Japanese maple. I've got some boxwoods here. These are deodar cedar, Himalayan deodar cedars. This one's another type of deodar cedar called snow sprite. And then we have a holly. It's called Steeds, Steeds. We have that, and then I was going to do some catmint as long as this area was bumped out far enough that it would get enough sun, because the catmint likes sun. But this area, the closer you get to, and I was actually going to limb up some of the trees that were here to create a little more sun. Yeah, so I mean, as long as, and most of these, like the maple is okay in some shade, the holly does okay in some shade, and I think this cedar will do fine in shade. And the others kind of like, this one likes the green giant arborvitae, likes, I think it'll do fine in part sun to sun. And the Saguaro cypress, Chamaecyparis boulevard, really likes more sun. So as long as everything was bumped out enough, I think it would have been fine in this area. They would have gotten enough sun, and if I limbed up all the trees, it would be great too. So this was the goal and the plan for this part of my property, but my plan has been foiled because my septic system is over on the left side of the house here, but farther over to the left, right behind my house. That's where the septic is. And I knew where the septic system was, but I had no idea where the leach field was. So I was like, you know what, maybe I should call the town and see what they have, because if they have the plans for it, because you don't want to plant trees or shrubs, or especially Japanese maples, around your septic system or the leach field, because if those roots get in there, and Japanese maples are known for ruining septic systems and leach fields because of their invasive roots, it can be really costly. So you don't want to do that. That's like the one thing you don't want to do. Now you can plant grass or shallow rooted perennials, things like that, smaller types of things, annual plants, Hollies are actually, you could plant hollies around them because they're very, their roots are not invasive. I still wouldn't plant the hollies on top of the septic system area, just, you can plant them like on an edge or around them. But yeah, definitely do your homework before you go planting anything around your septic or your leach field, because it can cost you a lot of money to replace that or fix it. Who knows. So anyway, so the plan has been foiled because I'm going to show you what they sent me. He said this was from 1973, which is really weird because my property or my house, from what I was told and what the closing documents say, is it was built in 1980. So why this was drawn up 7 years prior, I have no idea. Unless my house was actually built in 1973. I don't know. Or maybe it was just in the planning stages and that's what this design was, because it's really not even completely correct, because my well is actually right around here, not here where it says well. So I don't know. And Hickory Road does not go all the way down this way here, because they have that there. So I don't know. But, and my septic is like in the back of the house right about here. And then, as you can see, there's like a line going right here. And then this apparently is in the corner of the property where I was going to plant that whole design. And that is the, he called it a absorption field, I think he called it. He didn't call it a leach field, but I don't know. So it's 42 feet long by 18 feet wide, and I don't know if these lines in it are supposed to be piping. He really couldn't even tell me if there were even like PVC pipes below. I know I looked up pictures of a leach field, and usually it's like piping that's going from the septic outward. So I don't know. I have no idea. So I'm not going to even take the chance, because it's just going to cost me a ton of money if something gets damaged. So I am just going to move this design to the front area of my property in another corner spot. I may have to move some things around because some of the areas are different when it comes to like sun. Some is full sun, part shade, part shade. So I just have to make sure that all of these do well in that area. Now I think what I'm going to end up doing is just not doing the catmint, even though it's highly deer resistant. They don't touch it. I may put a juga in there instead, which is highly deer resistant. They don't touch that either. So I may just do that. What did I want to say? Oh, and so in the fall, actually a summer or so ago, I kept planting. Let me just move this actually so I could show you better. Select all. Okay. So, oops. I had planted, and I think you can kind of see it here. I dug up this hole and I planted 2 of the same shrubs because they kept dying. And I couldn't understand why I kept dying. And then I just planted that Japanese maple there this fall. And now that I realized that's actually infringing on the leach field, or the, what did the guy call it? Not the leach field, the absorption field. I'm thinking that could be why, because if there's fecal matter in the soil, that can totally contaminate the plant. So I'm like, maybe that's why they kept dying. Because I was like, wait a minute, I'm doing everything that I do in all my other flower beds, and then whatever I plant here just keeps dying. So I think that's what it is, which is disgusting, but hey, that's what happens when you have septics and leach fields, or absorption fields. So I'm going to be moving the maple out of here, because also their roots are very invasive with septics and leach fields. So luckily I just planted it in the end of fall of 2024. So I'm going to transplant it this spring to the other garden area, and hopefully it'll all be fine. So, excuse me. So my plan has been foiled. I'm really bummed out, but it is what it is. So I don't think I'm going to be able to put anything in this area of my yard, which sucks. I may be able to put something right here. I don't know what yet, but as far as this is concerned and giving me more privacy, I'm going to have to really get creative and think of something else. You know, maybe just put like, I don't even know. I could put like a little bench here or something. I don't know. I'm going to have to think about it. It's not really going to give me privacy, but it's going to take time. I'm going to have to get really creative and figure out what I can do with it. But in the meantime, because I already ordered all of these trees and shrubs, at least the ones that I don't currently have. Why is this? There we go. I was going to say it's all mixed up. So the ones that I don't currently have, or the ones that here we go. The ones that I don't currently have are going to be delivered in March. I ordered like 5 different conifers. I have 2 that are going in a different area of my yard, And the other 3, this one, and this one, are coming in March. I have not ordered the Saguaro Cypress yet, because I called the company and they said, oh, we ship right away. So I was like, well, we still have snow on the ground and the ground is frozen here, so I don't want them coming now, so I'm waiting to order that until like the end of March. So all is good. So anyway, so I'm just really bummed because I was really hoping to put that there, but like I said, it is what it is. Better safe than sorry. It's going to cost me an arm or leg to fix or replace the septic or the leach field, which I do not want to do. So I'm just going to avoid that. So I'm glad I called the town, you know, and got that information from them, because I had a feeling it was around that area, but I just didn't know exactly where. So it all makes sense now. So everything that I was planting there is probably getting contaminated. That's the other thing. You don't want to plant like fruit or vegetables around there, because it's going to get contaminated, probably with like E. coli or something. I don't even know what comes out of you, you know, comes out of you and your septic system. Who knows? Don't want to get into that. But anyway, so that is it. So if you're looking to do like a design, like a privacy screen kind of design, you don't have to do the typical row of the big tall arborvitaes or evergreens all in one line. You can mix it up and you can use different conifers, and it looks a lot prettier. It's a lot more interesting, and it gives contrast and color, and it'll catch people's interest. So, you know, that's how I think of it. I think it looks better that way. I don't like the tall trees. But, you know, to each his own. If you like that, knock yourself out. But I personally like this kind of design better. So anyway, so if that's what you're looking for, guys, this is an idea that you could probably use. You know, you could always change it around, use something else that you want. But I like to use different trees, you know, whether they're deciduous or evergreen. So all of these are going to stay. They're all going to have their foliage in the winter. So I'm still going to have interest in the winter. But the problem is the stupid scum-sucker deer, because even if they don't eat these types of plants, because they're supposed to be deer resistant, in spring, summer, and fall, they will eat it in the winter out here. In Northeast Pennsylvania, they are sick in the head. They have serious issues, and you have to protect them, because if you don't, they're going to eat them. Even if it's something they don't touch at all, they will eat it if they can get their stupid faces on it to eat it, because that's what they do out here in Northeast PA. There's an overpopulation. They do not have any natural predators out here anymore, except for hunters every so often during hunting season. But as far as that's concerned, that's it. So you got to protect it, because, and it sucks because it makes it ugly in the winter because you have an ugly fence around it. But if you want to keep your plants growing and doing well, and then you have, you know, prettiness in spring, summer, and fall, then just make sure you cover them in the winter. So anyway, that is it for today's video, guys. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. And if you're interested in hiring my design services, you can reach me at www.the-garden-whisperer.com. Until next time, guys, happy gardening. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.